Yes, Jamaica, Jamaica, yeah. Boy, my heart I bleed. My heart I bleed. You know, on the back of that shooting yesterday in Westmoreland, I mean, I have no power. I have no influence. So I don't know how far this message will get. I don't know how many shares I'm gonna have on Facebook. Maybe if I was doing something other than what I'm gonna say, yes, I would get 1 million shares and likes and comments and all that kind of stuff, because the bad things seems to make a million laps around the world before one good deed gets to the first corner. But I saw Delia Harris posted a question on social media on the back of the shooting down in Westmoreland. And she asked, why isn't there a national outrage about that? Why? Is it that we as a people have become so immune to this kind of thing, and we have normalized it, that we don't seem to understand the gravity of it, or we don't seem to care? Is it? Where do we go from here? I can say this safely, that if it is that as a people we don't react, 2018, we're going to look back at 2018, and as murderous as it is, we're going to say, wow, those were good times in Jamaica. That is what we're going to be saying many years from now, if it is that we don't react as a people. We need to unite around a common cause to arrest and kill this crime monster. I saw recently when the position of Commissioner of Police was opened up, everybody were clamoring, from Jamaicans living overseas to those at home, that Renita Adams must be installed as the next Commissioner of Police. You think any one person can fight the situation that we now have in Jamaica? No. No one individual can't do it. What we need to do is unite around a common cause, and that common cause should be creating an environment in Jamaica, bringing back the country to a state where we can feel much safer. We are not going to be able to eradicate crime, you know. We can't. Because even the greatest countries on the planet, with better resources and better well-thinking people, and more well-thinking people, I should say, have their problems as well. But we can bring Jamaica back to a better place. And how do we do that? As a people, we have to become more involved in the political process in a more educated way, and take away the sentiments that are attached to us when we go to the booths to vote. Don't just vote JLP and PNP or whomever you vote for just because you live in a geographical area. But vote because you want to see social change. You want to see the reduction of poverty. Because the crime monster, it has many roots. The social ills of the country and the failings of the system that should give us hope, those are what are creating the criminals and the crime, the situation that we now face. The public intellectual in America, Michael Eric Dyson, who is an author and writes many books. In one of his books, he said, you know, the past is a fountain of wisdom and warnings. And when you ignore the warnings, you're going to end up in all kinds of ills. And that is what has happened to Jamaica. We have ignored the things that have gotten us to this point. We need to stop ignoring them now and react. Hold politicians accountable. Say, look, we need better jobs and better social. There needs to be a social renaissance in Jamaica. Don't let our politicians come and tell us, oh, we're going to ask the church to pray for us. Because the church is a failed state right now. The church in and of itself as an institution has failed. And so if it is that you have a failed institution trying to give people moral guidance, the message is going to get lost somewhere. It's going to be distorted by the the imagery of the church that is now caught up, where the leaders of the church are caught up in so many immoral things. They're having sex with little boys and underage girls and all these kinds of nonsense. And so what is their moral superiority in trying to help these misguided youths in the country? We need our politicians to help us out. They are the ones who are being placed on the corridors of power. And people, even though we are not on the corridors of power, we have power. How do we do that? How do we exercise and flex our muscles in a political way? We have to hold our politicians accountable. Let it not be a case where we only get involved in the political process every 4 years, and that is only by drinking a beer that the politician stops by to buy. We have to do better. Demand performance. So when they talk about policing and community policing, and this is what we need to do, we need to fix community policing. Yes, we need to. But all our politicians are talking about these days is, okay, we need to give the police better ammunition and better salary and better vehicles, better resources to fight crime. What if we as a people, as politicians, pay attention to the things that are causing crime instead of fortifying the police force to go and fight crime? Why not try and fix the country so that we can have less crime? One institution that continues to be a big failure along with the church is our school system. And you, the politicians, have complete control over that. The private sector plays its part, yes, but the politicians are the ones making the policies and implementing them. Too many of our young men are high school dropouts along with our girls. The rate at which our girls are dropping out of high school and our boys these days are frightening. The rate is frightening. Both boys and girls are just leaving school with nothing. And so they're more impressionable and easily recruited by criminal elements. We have to try and immune our younger generation to criminality. The seduction of criminality should not get them so easily. So until we fix that, we will always have this crime situation to deal with. And we don't want to look back years to come and say, boy, 2018 was a nostalgic time in Jamaica. But at this rate, that is what we are headed for. To borrow a phrase from the great Peter Drury, the football commentator, in his summation of when Roma were on the verge of eliminating Barcelona from the Champions League, he said, "This was not meant to happen. This could not happen. This is happening." Jamaica, this crime situation, it is happening. It is real. What are we going to do about it? We're going to sit idly by and just, it doesn't affect me, so guess what? I don't care. The country as a whole, we need to rise up and galvanize people who have influence beyond their own boundaries to help us. Politicians, sports people, private sector, the media. We need to come together as one and rescue this situation, or else, wow, what is going to happen? There should be a national outrage. So let's not just fortify the force, but let's tackle the social problems in Jamaica, because crime has intersected with poverty. Let's try and reduce poverty. Yes, people may say, okay, the home is the broken one. The home, yes, the homes are broken, and we understand that. But we need to understand that the people who are in charge of the homes look to our politicians to create hope and create systems that will help them to find jobs and create for their kids. And that is not happening. So there is a trickle-down effect that we need to understand and react to it. Politicians, let's do something. Let's care enough. You know, Martin Luther King Jr., in one of his books, I think back in 1963, he wrote that book, 65, somewhere there, about where do we go from here. He said that power without love is reckless and abusive. And love without power is sentimental and anemic. The truth is that there are people like myself and others, Dale Harris, and I know Cozy Abrams, one of the guys who live overseas, and many people back in Jamaica, you know, who want to see that change. But we're not walking on the corridors of power. And so our thing is rather sentimental and anemic. We are not able to effect the change that we so desire to seek. We so seek to see happen. Yes, we may be able to go to the booth politically and trying to influence the process and what we want to see, but sometimes enough of us don't react with a common goal. We don't vote with our conscience. We are voting because of political assuasion. We need to react, people. Because this crime monster is beyond what it really should be. Yes, we're going to have crime, but it should not be this frightening. What is it that you, somebody who's watching this, what is it that you are going to do about your fight in crime? Your part to fight crime. I'm so discombobulated, to be honest. I'm broken. Let's not turn to the church as a cop-out. Please, let's put things in place to rescue the situation that we now find ourselves in.